Hi guys,
Hi.
this is Jay
This is Sherry.
and welcome to another episode of our project analysis. Today the project that we will be covering is Pinery
Pinery.
Residences. So Pinery is actually located at Tampines West. It's actually a mixed development, and for today's video, these will be the topics that we will be covering. As usual, we will be doing the project information. For this video onwards, right, in the future we will also be covering how you can actually identify the right unit to buy, so that when you go into a project, when you want to buy a unit, you can choose the best unit that is suitable for you and also at the safe entry price and also with a clear real exit plan. And also layout analysis will be something that we will always cover. I think for this project, in case you are not aware, there is actually another EC that is very close to Pinery Residences as well. We all know that for executive condos, it's actually subsidized housing, right? So the entry price for the buyers are actually much lower than a normal condo. This will be something that we will be addressing as well. And also lastly, we will cover on how you can actually time your exit based on the unit that you buy and also on your plan as well. So let's get right into it. The preview date is actually from 14 March to 24th March. So if you are interested to view, you can just let us know. The booking day will be on 28th of March. If you have any questions for us, feel free to actually contact any of us and we'll be more than happy to help you.
So now we would like to share the project info of this project. Basically, it's 588 residence units, and then we also have 60 units of restaurants and retail, inclusive of the supermarket and food court, and of course the childcare. And the size of this area is 50,000 square meter. And of course, we have commercial malls at 11,000 square meter. We have 474 car park lots. For commercial car park lots, we have 164 lots.
And the vacant possession is actually 2031. But from what we are seeing from the fact sheet, the developer is actually targeting Q4 2029. So I think that's the date that we can actually look forward to lah. For the developer, it's actually Hoi Hub and Sunway. Some of the projects that they have developed are Continuum, Terra Hill and Key Residences.
So this is the locations. You can see this is Pinery itself. We are actually very close to the MRT, which is Tampines West. And based on what you can see here, we are actually surrounded by a lot of HDBs. And on the right hand side, we can see there's a lot of industrial as well.
So one thing when you're surrounded by HDB, it also means that there will be coffee shops, there will be amenities. So in terms of view, you might be blocked, but in terms of convenience wise, if you are looking for something that is like lower cost, like coffee shop, this kind, then HDB is actually something that is beneficial. And especially in an area like Tampines, there are a lot of HDB over there. The main driving demand will be from the HDB upgraders.
And those people that really love convenience.
Yeah.
And this is the connectivity. We are at Tampines West, just right beside Tampines MRT station. This is the blue line. It actually bring you all the way up to Bukit Panjang area or even like Bedok area. And of course, we are actually 1 kilometer away from St. Hilda's Primary, Junyuan Primary and Tampines Primary. We also have a Temasek Poly around the area. So for work, right, it's actually at downtown line. So you actually can go all the way to CBD area or 9 minutes drive to Changi Business Park.
St. Hilda's is actually quite a good primary school also.
Yes.
In terms of amenities, we are just one MRT stop to Tampines Central. Over there, there's actually 3 shopping malls. Also, if you're a nature lover, you can actually walk to Bedok Reservoir Park from the project. And if you're looking at future growth opportunities, of course, these are the plans by the government. I think one of the massive one would be the Paya Lebar airbase relocation. So once the airbase relocation is done, there will be plans to build more residential, commercial, which will also impact this project in the future.
For the long-term demand, I think we have a lot of BTOs around that area. So I think we have a lot of ready pool of buyers.
So you have HDB upgraders and you also have a future transformation. There's actually a clear exit plan. Depends on which unit you buy. For expressways, we are actually close to PIE and TPE. Just now as we mentioned, this project is a mixed development. Downstairs the project, there is actually the amenities ready. So supermarket, food court, you have your early childcare development center as well. All in all, I think being a mixed D, this is already something that will attract buyers. And next, these are some of the artist impression. It will be called Pinery Mall. This is how the function room will look like. This is the pool.
And we have kids party room. Very popular,
yeah,
right?
more
in
projects
all
are
the
building
projects.
this kids room already. Next, we have the unit types.
We have from 2 bedrooms all the way to our 5 bedrooms. 2 bedroom actually have 43% in the entire project, and for 3 bedrooms we have 35%. 4 bedroom we have 20%, and 5 bedroom we have 2%.
For the 2 bedroom, right, the smallest one is actually 2 bed 2 bath. They didn't build like 1 bedroom and 2 bed 1 bath. It's also good. I think majority of the buyers here are mainly buying for own stay as well.
Yeah.
I think minimally 2 bedroom 2 bath is something that they will be more likely to look at lah. That's why you can see that the smallest 2 bed 2 bath, there's actually the most number of stacks. And for the 3 bedrooms, is separated into 2 different categories, I would say. So you have the smaller ones from 807 to 872 square feet. Then you have the slightly bigger ones from 990 to 1055. For 4 bedroom, they also built the smaller sizes to cater to those buyers who actually need 1 more bedroom. Just 100 square feet more, you'll be able to get 1 more bedroom lah, at 1141 square feet. And for 5 bedroom, there's only one size, 1,475 square feet. Later on, we will compare the layout, and we will also give you our opinion on which layout is our top choice for each different bedroom type. Elevation chart, you can see that there's actually a good mix of the different type of bedrooms in every block. And the highest floor for each block is actually 14th floor. And because it's a mixed development, so the lowest floor actually starts from level 3 instead of level 1. Level 2 and below are actually the commercial spaces. So total of 6 blocks from level 3 all the way to level 14. And this is the site plan. So this condo is actually full facilities. They have 2 function rooms. They have a few lounges as well. And also the gym, changing room, spa. Then just now we mentioned the kids party room and the barbecue pavilion. So looking at the site plan over here, we can actually see that the distance from each block is actually quite okay, because for some projects, even the land is huge, right? They build the blocks very close to each other. It becomes like when you look out of your window, you actually see your neighbor. We realize that in the resale market, a lot of the resale buyers don't really like this lah. So for this case, it's actually quite good because we can see that none of the blocks are actually very close to each other. So in terms of the inner facing units, you actually do get a quite decent view, whether it's a pool view or if not, you'll be looking at greenery. So quite well thought. And then just like I mentioned, there is a condo with full facilities. So there's a tennis court as well over here. And then the entrance will be from here lah.
I think a good thing about this is, if you can see, the big units are all at the back, right? And then these are the family area. And then you see the smaller units are all the way on the top. Maybe they were thinking that the smaller unit likely will be investors or like maybe family of 2 to 3. So if you can see, they actually did the family area at this area here.
Which will also be what we'll be covering on later on.
Yes.
If we look at this side map with the views, just now as I mentioned, most of the inwards facing unit, they will have a pool view. If not, they will get a garden view. So it's actually quite good lah. For the external view, you will be facing HDB lah.
HDB, yeah. So here is like really buying for convenience lah, not like for views.
Correct. So from this project analysis onwards, right, we will be doing this on how to identify the right unit to buy lah. And in order to do this, we must first understand what is the project's unique selling point. And in this case, for Pinery, it's actually a mixed development that is linked to the MRT. So the unique selling point is the convenience. You have the shops below your project and you have the MRT that is directly linked as well. So for Pinery, right, when the unique selling point is the convenience, how do you actually determine the right unit to buy or the best unit to buy? So first, we have to analyze this plan for the commercial. We can see over here that this is the MRT access. So just now Sherry mentioned that they actually built a lot of the small units over here, right? If it's a small unit, there's a chance that the buyer is an investor. So when the buyer is an investor and then they choose to rent it out, then the convenience or the distance to the MRT station is very important. Because if you are 2 bedroom over here, then in order to go to the MRT, you have to walk all the way there. It doesn't bring out the USP of this project, whereby it's convenience. So coming back to this plan, MRT access is confirmed important because this is something that if you are staying here, high chance that you will be using the MRT to commute every day. Then if we look at this retail, Will you go shopping every day? I don't think you will be doing shopping every day, maybe once in a while. So for the units here, I would say that the advantage is the MRT access.
Right.
And then there is also the F&B over here. Then if you look at this portion, we will see that mainly is where the F&B,
Yeah, the supermarket, the
Supermarket,
food court. Actually, it makes sense because they did all the big units over here. And big units are usually for who? For those like bigger family. So basically, I think the supermarket is really quite important for them because it's easier for them to access to the supermarket, right? Rather than the MRT, I feel.
yeah. And then if we are looking at the bigger units, most likely they will be driving also. So in a way, when they come home, they want to go for grocery shopping over here, they can just go to the supermarket and then they can just take the lift upwards lah. For over here, the convenience is the supermarket and the F&B. Previously, we did the project analysis on Rivelle Modern. What is the USP?
View.
Yeah. Will you look for a view in Pinery? Unlikely, because over here they are not selling you the view ma. So for example, Vela Bay, what is the USP? It's also the sea view ma.
view.
So definitely the people buying there wants the sea view. Will they care whether it's near to the entrance or near to the MRT or not? Not so much. They will actually care more about whether you can get the sea view or not. So in this case, most importantly is where your unit is situated. It has to be very convenient for that unit type.
Right.
What we mentioned just now, if for the smaller ones, MRT access is important. For the bigger unit type, the supermarket is important. The F&B food court is important because this is something that there's a high chance that every day you will need to go. So this is the convenience portion. Then the next one, right, is the price loading. Previously, we also did for Rivelle Modern. We also touched on price loading. And for price loading, there's actually 3 kinds of price loading. We have per floor jump, we have the view loading, and the unit type. In the past, we always guess what will be the developer's pricing strategy. But now, we don't want to guess already. So we will just use our experience and logic to explain lah. But first, we give you an example. So Key Residences by the same developer, they actually always adopt this price strategy of per floor jump. So you can see from over here, right, level 4 to level 6, the per floor jump is about 0.5. But when it reaches level 7, the per floor jump actually increased to 32,000, which is 2%. From level 7 to level 8, it actually increased to 16k, which is 1%. So the same thing happened for Continuum, also another of their project. Over here, the per floor jump is actually lower. Then when it reaches level 6, you can see that it becomes 1.5% instead of 0.5%. Do we know that whether they will adopt the same strategy? We are not sure, but there's a chance that they might adopt the same strategy based on their past record. Let's say they do apply the per floor jump strategy. How do you choose the right unit? Just now we have already covered the convenience over here. Then now we look at the view and the per floor jump. We know that for this developer, if per floor jump is adopted by them, which unit will be the best for us? So for example, if you're looking at the smaller bedroom type, right, 44 and 45, so you know that it's convenient for the tenants because it's close to the MRT. If the developer never load a lot on the facing, then you can actually go for something that is from low to mid floor, so that you still get a nice pool view and you get the convenience of the mixed development being close to MRT. Let's say they load on the view, right, then you can actually go for something that is over here but outwards facing. Then for investment, you don't really need to go too high. You can go from low to mid floor. But for the big unit types, I think the inner view will still be important because a lot of the buyers will be own stay buyers. So for this case, if the loading is on the view and the per floor jump, then the best unit to buy is actually from the low to mid floor as well. I would choose the low to mid floor inwards facing rather than the outwards facing HDB, even if the price for the inwards facing is slightly higher. So over here we can see that the Tampines West MRT is here, right? We look at the surrounding, is mostly surrounded by HDB. No matter how high you go, you will still see HDB. So if you go level 5, you still see HDB, level 14, you still see HDB, and the loading is on the per floor, then it makes more sense for you to actually go for a low to mid floor because there's no difference in the view. The good thing is that when you go lower floor, you are paying lower. So when you sell, you also sell lower. Doesn't mean that you are low floor, it will be harder for you to sell. Ultimately, it still depends on the entry price. Then next, if let's say the developer is loading on the big unit types, In our last video, we also covered that the developer nowadays, they like to load on the 4 and 5 bedroom, right? I feel that they might not load on the 4 and 5 bedroom for this project. The reason is because Parktown, there are also still remaining bigger unit types. For Parktown, the strategy is actually the bigger unit types have a lower PSF. So if for Pinery, they actually load on the 4 and 5, then essentially you can buy Parktown 5 bedroom at the 4 bedroom price over here. So I don't think they will really go and load on the 4 and 5 bedder lah, because they will jam their own units also ma. Then another thing is also, if they load the PSF on the 4 and 5 bedder, then the affordability in the future resale market might become an issue also. But if let's say they really load on the 4 and 5 bedder, then how do you choose the unit? For this project, mainly will still be own stay buyers lah. Let's say they load on the 4 and 5, then we would advise to actually go for the bigger 3 bedroom. So we know that for the 2 bedroom, the loading is lesser. Then up to the smaller compact 3 bedders, right? Maybe there's no loading. Then maybe the loading will start from the bigger 3 bedroom. Maybe the loading will start from the bigger 3 bedroom. So our sequence will be, we will go for smaller one. Then if you really need a 3 bedroom, we will go for the 3 bedroom compact first. Then the third choice will be the bigger unit types. But not say that you cannot buy the bigger unit. If you choose to buy the bigger unit, right, you need to make sure that the unit you are buying has very clear exit plan, in the sense that you are very clear that next time who you can sell to, the demand for this unit, right, fits the demand in this area. It's very important for you to know how to choose the right unit. If you feel that you are not confident to select the unit, you can reach out to us.
So now back to our layout analysis again. We will start from our 2 bedrooms. So for 2 bedrooms, we have 3 layouts over here. Maybe we start with our B1 first. So B1 is 624 square feet. What is good is if you can see the toilet 2 is actually bigger, and of course give us more flexibility than our B2. Actually in B1, right, we get our 2 ensuite toilet. So for B2 itself, right, if you can see, I think this layout, I don't really recommend. We actually have a very long kitchen, and we do not have any like proper dining area. If you are cooking, then there's a small table right behind you. For these 2 bedroom 2, right, on the paper, right, the square feet will be bigger, but actually a lot of the square feet goes to the walkway. When you are going into this house, right, I think it will look a little bit more cramped lah. And of course, our bathroom too is really small.
Over here, you see that the aircon latch is outside of the master bedroom. So you realize that for your master bedroom, right, you will not have the full height window over here. Usually when the aircon latch is here, they will do a half wall to cover up the aircon latch. And that's why for us, we feel that this layout will look a bit small.
And also dark lah. Maybe it's also darker because like we don't have the full height windows. So for B3 itself is our traditional layout at 667 square feet. I think this layout is quite okay because technically we have this layout in our resale market as well. Some people prefer traditional and some people will prefer their dumbbell layout. It really depends on the buyers itself.
Traditional will give you a bit more privacy.
Because you actually have this walkway. So even though the size is bigger, I think we don't really feel there's a lot of space.
Not a lot of difference in the space lah. You see over here, the master bedroom is actually the same size. The bedroom 2 is also almost the same size. Then if you look at the master bath, also around the same size. When we look at this bathroom 2, it becomes smaller. So the size is bigger, 667. And where did the size actually go to? The difference in the additional space actually went to this walkway lah. And if you compare the living room, there is not a substantial difference in the size as well. So for this case, right, we will actually prefer the B1. I think it's more efficient and you're paying for the space that you can use.
So I think that's the reason why the developer have more B1 units itself. Next, of course, we want to compare with our 2 bedroom plus study. So 2 bedroom plus study is 700 square feet. So I think it depends whether if you need the extra storage space. Actually it's a study area lah. So really depends on whether you want to use it as a study or a storage space. Because this space, if you want to put a bed, also a little bit difficult because the 2 doors are over there, which is our bedroom 2 and our bathroom 2. I think it really depends on how you want to change this layout, or maybe you can just put a study desk.
I have seen similar layout like this in the resale market lah. And there's no window over here. So even if you put a desk, you'll be essentially facing the wall.
Yeah, it's quite dark actually.
And then you probably use it as a storage. And then for the rest of the house, the good thing is there's a tuck-away kitchen over here. The rooms are actually the same as the 2-bed 2-bath, but the living room will be slightly smaller than the 2-bed 2-bath over there.
So now we will share our top choice. So basically our top choice is still the 624. Like what we mentioned earlier, the bathroom is bigger. The second thing is if we choose this B1 unit, we actually can rent out another room as our ensuite because we have the ensuite toilet. So I believe this can command a better rental as well.
Because if we compare just now over here, this one is our least preferred. Then if we compare this layout, you can actually rent out as 2 master bedroom. But over here, you can rent out only as a master ensuite, and then over here, you cannot rent out as an ensuite. So if you are staying in one room, you still can rent this out as a master bedroom. It gives a bit more flexibility in the event that you want to rent it out as separate rooms.
So next, we would like to share our 3-bedroom. Basically, we have 3 kinds of 3-bedroom right here. And then we have 807 square feet, 861 square feet, and of course our 872 square feet. So for the C1, we have a tuck-in kitchen, and then our 3rd bedroom is right at the corner itself. The other side will be our bedroom 2 and our master room with the master bath.
This layout is quite okay. It's quite good. The only downside is there's no windows.
Yes, there's
So
no window.
it's like 2-bedroom whereby you don't get the windows. But let's say the minimum you need is a 3-bedroom. Then I think this layout is also okay. And if you are deciding between the 2+ study or this 3-bedroom, we will actually advise for you to actually go for this layout. Because the difference in size is not a lot, but you get an additional proper bedroom. And because the 2-bedroom plus study also got no windows. And for C2 and C3, 861 and 872, the key difference would be the walkway over here.
And there's windows like in the kitchen area, in our bathroom.
You get a proper 3-bedroom compact. I usually call this a compact. The layout wise, I think is very efficient.
And I think the difference between C2 and C3 is just the walkway.
So for these 2 layout, they know that because there's no yard, there's no warm shelter, they actually build a small storage over here. When it comes to storage spaces, it actually affects how we choose our top choice for this. Our top choice is actually the 872. So usually for this kind of layout, we will choose the one without the long walkway.
Which is our C2.
For this case, we actually chose this C3, right? The long walkway is actually useful. Because if you see over here, one thing is the privacy. You don't immediately see your living room. Secondly is that you can actually shift this dining table here. Then you can actually build a lot of shelving over here. You will still have enough space to walk. If you feel that over here, if you build all the way to over here, it is a bit narrow, right? You can still build from here to here. You still have enough space to actually walk past. This cabinet can be floor to ceiling, which means that it will actually add a lot of storage spaces for a 3-bedroom compact. That's why our first choice for the smaller 3-bedroom will be this 872, because we feel that it has everything you need in a 3-bedroom. You have windows, you have a nice enclosed kitchen, your rooms can all fit queen size bed, and your living room has a good separation between the living and the dining area, and you also get the flexibility of building more storage space over here, which is important for a small 3-bedroom.
So I think the difference is only about 11 square feet, and assuming that you are buying at the same PSF, I think the difference is roughly about 20/1000. So basically 20/1000, you have more storage space and you have like your own privacy. I think this is something that we will want to consider because of this.
Next will be the 3-bedroom premium.
So 3-bedroom premium, we have 3 layouts, which is our C4, C5, C6. C4 is 990 square feet, C5 is 1012 square feet, and C6 is 1023 square feet. Basically, if we go through the C4 layout, we have our proper yard area, home shelter area. And the good thing about our kitchen is the wall, there's a window over there. I think the kitchen will look brighter in this way.
All these 3 layouts are actually quite similar, except for the walkway over here. And this is what we mean by when we don't prefer the walkway. But first, this layout, right, you have a good separation of the living room, dining, and for portrait layout, when comparing to landscape, most buyers actually prefer the landscape. But portrait is actually also good if it's long enough. And in this case, I think the distance from here to here is actually very decent. so the house will not look small. They have a nice enclosed kitchen. As Sherry mentioned, you have your glass over here, and then windows in the kitchen and bathrooms. And there's actually one more WC. So this is actually a 3-bed 3-bath. So 3-bed 3-bath at 990 square feet, I think the demand will be strong in the resale market. And for all this layout, right, there is a home shelter. So you have the storage already. The three layouts are actually quite similar in terms of the room sizes. The main difference will be the master bedroom. So for C4 and C5, the master bedroom difference will be the view. For the size wise, it's almost the same. For this C4, it will all be facing here. Whereas for this C5, your master bedroom is actually facing this side. But both also facing outwards lah. So actually, not much of a difference. C6 is actually very similar to C4. So if we compare these two, it's actually very similar. The only difference would be the foyer over here. Just now we already mentioned, usually we will prefer the layout without the foyer because we feel that the space is not usable. Like for this case, if you build a cabinet over here, it becomes very narrow.
I think this is the area that we say that if you want MRT station, right, then this is somewhere that you want to look at for the 3-bedroom premium because all of them are closer to the MRT station.
And just now, as we mentioned, it's not that over here you don't have the small bedroom types. It's just that for the small bedroom types, right, over here we feel that there is less advantage as compared to the smaller bedroom over here. You are getting the smaller bedroom, right, nearer to MRT is more important than over here. So it depends on the unit that you are getting also. For this 3-bedroom premium layout, it's all situated over here so it's close to the MRT lah. So next we have our 3 premium plus study
at 1055 square feet. This one we have this extra study area. For study area, it's actually right inside the master bedroom. We actually saw this unit in some of the projects.
I think the main difference is just over here, but it's actually a nice addition because you can actually put your study over here. There's a window. If not, your master bedroom becomes very big if you don't need the study. It comes with master bathroom, master bedroom, bedroom 2 and 3 are the same size, and then for bathroom 2 there's windows also. There is also another WC, so it's actually a 3-bed 3-bath also, and nice L-shaped enclosed kitchen over here plus a home shelter. So for this 3-bedroom premium, right, is actually located in the different segment of the project. If you are choosing this 3-bedroom premium, then you can actually apply what we also shared earlier on, like on the loading on the per floor jump and also the facing to choose the best unit, and also to keep in mind of the convenience as well. So for our top choice is still the C4 990 because we feel that for the walkway space, the space at the walkway, right, is not super usable. So in this case, we will choose the one without the walkway space. Other than that, the rest of the house is actually quite similar in terms of the layout.
The study is quite nice, but it depends on the price point. So it depends on how much you are entering into that unit itself. So next, we want to talk about our 4-bedroom. So for 4-bedroom, same thing. Our kitchen also have the glass, and then we can put 8-seater dining. It will be quite long, and then there will be a storage space as well. So basically, I think this wall, it can be hacked into a bigger space if you want to have a bigger living and dining area. So all the bedrooms are all similar. The master bathroom is slightly bigger.
Then the next layout we compare it to would be the 4-bedroom premium plus study. So just now why we didn't choose the 3-bedroom premium plus study is because the study is in the master bedroom. But for this case, you can see over here is located in the living room. So if you choose not to have the study over here and you can knock this wall down for the storeroom, you will realize that the living room becomes very big. For this case, we feel that the 4-bedroom premium plus study is better than the 4-bedroom premium without the study. It makes the house looks much bigger, even if you don't hack down this storage. Other than that, nice enclosed kitchen, WC, and all the rooms can fit queen size bed. Master bedroom is also very decent size. The difference for these 3 layout would be again the walkway. Other than that, it's actually very similar. Our top choice would be D2. For this case, the study is in the living room. The living room can become much bigger. The other layout is actually with the longer walkway. So for this case, again, we feel that the space is not very usable. So we will choose the one without the long walkway but with the study. Next, we have this 4-bedroom luxury. So the size is 1389 square feet. It has a bigger living room. The rooms over here are actually the same size, but they actually named this the junior master. So in a way, you have 2 junior master lah. Then you have your bedroom 4 over here and bathroom 3 over here. Master bedroom is huge with walk-in wardrobe. But the thing that I think the one with the storage is better is that it gives you more flexibility because you can knock down this wall over here. When we're talking about this layout, I think we would compare it with the 5-bedroom because the size is not that far apart. This 5-bedroom, you actually get one more proper junior master and you still have the very big master bedroom with walk-in wardrobe, windows in all the bathrooms and also the kitchen, and you also get a dry kitchen over here. So we feel that this 4-bedroom is in a category of its own because it's much bigger than the smaller 4-bedroom, and so we will use this to compare with the 5-bedroom. And when we compare these two, we would prefer the 5-bedroom because at 1475 square feet, you can actually get additional proper bedroom over here. The 5-bedroom luxury will be our preferred choice when we compare to the 4-bedroom. Next, we'll be touching on the condo versus EC price gap analysis. So just now we mentioned that beside Pinery, there's another EC called Rivelle, which also previews now as we are filming this video. For Rivelle, the indicative pricing for the 3-bedroom actually starts from 1.588 million, 1798 PSF. The 5-bedroom is 1378 square feet at 2.559 million and 1857 PSF. And let's say a Pinery, they want to average at about 2004, for example. So they will likely launch around 2002. Then maybe the highest unit will be maybe about 2006, 2007. So if you are getting a unit at the average price of 2004 for Pinery, you realize that the gap from the EC, which is very near, is actually quite big. So whether or not this is safe, let us show you what is the normal price gap for an integrated or mixed development versus a condo and EC. Over here we have the first example, which is Watertown versus Treasure Trove. So Watertown is an integrated project with mall and MRT versus Treasure Trove, which is a condo.
Which is quite close, just a walking distance away.
And the price gap is 22%. And when we compare the Wisteria in Yishun versus Signature at Yishun, the Wisteria is a mixed development, Signature is an EC. The gap is 45%. So if we use this example, so if we follow this price gap, right, let's say 1,009 for Rivelle plus 45%, we will be looking at about 27XX PSF. If today Pinery is launching at an average of 2004, there will be some units that might reach 2006, 2007. And actually, is it expensive or not? Based on this example, it's not expensive. Yeah, it's actually reasonable. But because the gap is still there, that's why it's important to choose the right unit and also know when to exit. If we look at this example over here, right, we have Coco Palms and Sea Horizon, which is in Pasir Ris. So for Coco Palms, it's closer to the MRT. You can see that during launch, right, the difference is about 200 PSF. So it's about 20% lah, as what we showed earlier on for the other project. When Coco Palms TOP, it actually reached 1,002 PSF. Then Sea Horizon, now this is the 5 years MOP ma. So in 2021, Sea Horizon obtained the MOP. Then you start to see the volume for Sea Horizon go up over here. Then the gap still maintained at $200 over. Over here, it's still maintained at $200 over. So if you buy a project that is next to an EC, will it still profit or not? It will still profit. It's just that when the EC MOP, they will take away some of the demand also. So when the price gap is huge, some of the demand will go to the EC. But when the price is close to each other already, then the demand will go back to the condo. Because when buyers compare two different projects, right, in the resale market, they won't know which one is an EC, which one is a condo. But they will see the location, they will see the overall of the project. And then if Coco Palms is a more superior project, then the price gap is not very big. Then naturally buyers will go for Coco Palms instead of Sea Horizon. The only time when the demand will be strong for Sea Horizon is when the price gap is very huge. So what is the advantage of Pinery in this case is that it's a mixed development and it's very convenient, right? And it's linked to MRT. There's a unique selling point about this project. For the price gap, it's actually also normal if we compare it to Wisteria and Issue and Signature. So I think that overall Pinery at this pricing is still reasonable. Let's say today you are looking at a condo with an EC that is very close in age, but the price gap is like super huge. Then that's when you should be worried about. Because condo and EC that is very close in age, when resale buyers cannot tell the difference, and this condo that you're buying has no unique selling point and the price gap is so big, then the demand naturally will go to the resale EC first. Then your price will be stagnant for a while. So when the price is stagnant for a while, until the EC price comes very close to the condo price, then you will see that the price for the condo will start to go up again. Then when the gap becomes very huge again, then the same thing will happen. That's how we see it for Pinery. And then for the profitability, we will be using Pasir Ris 8, which is in Pasir Ris. So it's another integrated project. In 3 years holding period, they actually earn quite a good amount of money. So for Pasir Ris, there are actually a lot of ECs in the area. The newest EC that has obtained its MOP is Sea Horizon. And that is like over 10 years old.
Yeah, quite long ago.
When the age is not very close, it won't really affect that much.
Yes.
But for this case, because Rivelle is very close in age to Pinery, we need to be very careful of the unit that we buy and when you want to plan your exit. And that's why we have done up this timeline to show you. For Pinery, if we expect the TOP to be 2029 to 2030, right? In Tampines, there's actually another 2 more EC other than Rivelle. But Tenet is closer to the Pasir Ris side. Aura of Tampines is also close to Tenet, right? And Tenet will TOP in 2026, so their MOP is 2031. Aura of Tampines TOP in 2028, their MOP is 2033. For Pinery, if you are buying the small units, the 2-bedroom, all these EC don't have 2-bedroom. For timeline wise, you only need to be careful of one thing. When you are buying the 2-bedroom, you must make sure that the price that you are buying in is not very close to the 3-bedroom price of this EC. If not, you will have difficulty selling when they obtain MOP and they flood the market. The first timeline to sell will be when Pinery TOP. If you are holding the small units, you can actually look to sell before the 3-bedroom flood the market. And if you don't want to sell over here, whether you're holding a big unit or a small unit, the next time you can sell is before Rivelle MOP. These 2 EC, right, the location is further from Pinery. The main competitor will be Rivelle, and Rivelle will MOP in 2034. So if you want to sell, right, it's best you sell here before Rivelle's units hit the market. Not saying that you will not earn, but the demand and the price appreciation will slow down because with a lower quantum, buyers can actually buy Rivelle at maybe the same size as you or even bigger than Pinery. So when you choose to hold over this period, you will see that a portion of the demand will actually go to Rivelle. Then when Rivelle price reaches very close to Pinery, the price is very close to Pinery, right? Then you will see Pinery start to move again. Because Pinery is of course a better product in a way because it's a mixed development, right? Over this period is when the demand will go over here. Then when the price reaches very close to Pinery price will still go up. Just that maybe your unit will take longer to sell. Maybe last time got 10 buyers looking at your unit, now become maybe 5 buyers. Then 5 buyers maybe go buy Rivelle because it's very close. Can your price still go up? Yes, but the demand will definitely be affected lah. That's why we feel that if you want, you sell at the TOP. If not, you sell before Rivelle MOP. If not, you have to wait until the Rivelle's price reaches very close to Pinery, and then the demand for Rivelle will drop, then the demand for Pinery will increase. And that's how we see it lah. So it's very important to know how to time your exit and know which unit to buy. What we did today based on the convenience, the USP is very generic. If you are unsure, not confident to get a unit that is good for you, you can contact us and we'll be more than happy to help. And if you feel that our content is useful, please subscribe to our channel, help us to share, and that's all for today. And see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.